Hello crafty friends! Thank you so much for joining me for another card making video. For this one I made a super sparkly winter card and I used the adorable Snowball fight stamp set by Fawn. First off, I started by stamping out all of my images onto Stencil Perfect coloring paper, and I'm using, as usual, my Copic markers to color them in. Like you see, I already colored most of the mice. I just left one to color on camera because I used the exact same combinations for all of them. I'm using my favorite E50 marker combination, so E57, 55, 53, 51, and 50. Now, you certainly don't need to use that many markers for such tiny images, but I just find I have an easier time blending with them, but you certainly don't need that many markers. Then I'm just adding some shading to the snow pieces. So I'm using BG13, BG11, and BG quadruple 0 just to add a little bit of shading around the edges. And then I'm also using that same combination for some of the elements on the hats and scarves. But I did want to add a little bit of extra definition to the images. So I'm just using a Copic multiliner to add some stripes to some of the scarves and one hat. And you have to be sure to use like a little fine liner that is alcohol marker friendly, like the Copic multiliner, or you want to add the stripes after coloring or you'll smear the ink. So I'm using the same BG markers. I'm just adding a little bit of the BG15 as well for the little accessories on the mice. And I wanted to use like a teal, pink, and purple color combo, since that's what I'll be using on the big sentiment die as well as the background. Then I'm using BV02, BV00, and BV000 as my purple combo. Just trying to alternate as best I can between which critter gets what hat color. And then I'm using R38, R83, and R81, as well as RV10 for my pink combo. And then I wanted to add lots of glitter on this card, so I'm adding some Stardust stickles on all of the snowballs and snow mounds, as well as the little speech bubble that says Snowball Fight. And I'm also adding some Stardust stickles on the rims of the hats and the little pom-poms on top. I set that off to dry, and I'm working on my background panel next. I'm just ink blending that with one color, just with a little bit of Salvaged Patina, and I made sure to go lighter as the further in I got into the panel. And I'm also adding a little bit of the Salvaged Patina onto a stitched hill. Then I die cut the giant outline Oh What Fun out of Pixie Dust cardstock from Fawn. And I'm not sure if you know this, but you can actually ink blend it with dye inks. You can't use oxides because that would dull the sparkle, but you can definitely use any type of dye ink. So I'm just ink blending that with Ballet Slippers and Raspberry from Fawn. You do want to use a more intense color because it doesn't take the ink too well, so you can get away with using darker colors, but it turns out kind of pastel. I think you would have a hard time getting it really vibrant, but for a nice little blend, it definitely works out really, really well. You want to leave that to dry for a while as well because it doesn't dry that easily on the glitter, but it's such a cool effect. And then I'm adding some white stencil paste with the Snow Flurry stencil from Fawn, just to add a snowy background. I cleaned off the stencil and all of the tools immediately because you don't want that to dry on your tools because you will never be able to get it off. And then I added a scalloped frame to my scene as well as the little stitched hill. And I wanted to have the Oh What Fun just as a sentiment, not with the frame. So I just trimmed off along the edges and made sure I get a nice transition where the words or the letters and the little snowflakes connected to the frame. And then I'm just gluing down the white outline. I adhered it a little bit further to the top so I would have more room to add like cute mice at the bottom on the snowy hill. And then I'm just dropping in the glittery letters with some liquid glue. And this is really like just adding some puzzle pieces, which is really fun. Just going ahead and adding in all of the little glittery letters, as well as the glittery snowflakes that the die cuts. And I'll be left with the glittery outline, and in a future video I'll show you another card that I made with this outline. I just finished the rest of the letters off camera because it's not that interesting to watch me glue down all the letters. And then it was already time to adhere my cute images. I started out by setting the scene with some cute snow mounds, and then I'm adding all the mice with some 3D foam squares. I'm adding the little cute one ducking in the middle with the Scream Snowball fight. And then the top two are throwing snowballs in either direction. So I just glued those down at different heights, making sure the sentiment is still legible. And then I had some more snow mounds colored and some more snowballs, so I just added them around the scene just to fill it up nicely. And I love the sparkle on those ink blended letters. There's never too much glitter for me, so this card is like right up my alley, and I had so much fun making this. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you again next time for a new card making video. Until then, have an amazing day. Bye!